So last night, at the time of this recording, news.livedoor.com, I'll put a link in the description below, posted an article saying TV Asahi announces the end of the Super Sentai series after 50 years of history. TV Asahi ends 50-year history of Super Sentai series with gratitude to fans, saying, "We want to create new heroes." So this is from TV Asahi themselves. TV Asahi is the TV program that airs Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. And they held a press conference at their, at their headquarters in Roppongi, Tokyo. Now, I did translate this into English with just Google Translate, but it's basically saying that, Super Sentai is done. Super Sentai is done. The 50th anniversary is going to mark the end of this tokusatsu show, and that Project R.E.D is going to be starting with the first installment being Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity. And they even mention, original Space Sheriff Gavan, which aired from 1982 to 1983, will be revived. That's what it says in the article. And they also said, regarding the future revival of the Super Sentai series, Nishijin, I guess the station's president, I don't know if that translated correctly. That might have not translated his name correctly, but that's what we got. Anyways, he says that there is a possibility of Super Sentai's revival, but as of now, there is nothing definitive to say. And this got people talking, man. This article got people talking. And the big topic that people are talking about now is, so is Project R.E.D actually a rebrand of Super Sentai? Or is this something completely different? Is this a new show? There are people on both sides of the argument saying, no, this is a rebrand. It's going to have Super Sentai elements. That's been the narrative up to this point. So, it's got to be true. And then there's also the other side where it's like, well, all of these official sources from Japan have said otherwise. So I'm here to get down to the bottom of it. I'm going to stop this argument. I'm going to stop this debate. I'm not going to stop this debate, but we can try. So to start off, I think it's important to define a rebrand. What is a rebrand? What does rebrand actually mean, right? Because people have been talking like, no, it is a rebrand. No, it isn't a rebrand. What exactly makes a rebrand a rebrand? We got to answer that question first. We're going to go on Wikipedia, good old Wikipedia. I know Carlos loves his Wikipedia. So we're going to go we're going to go here. What do they say? Rebranding is a marketing strategy in which a new name, term, symbol, design, concept, or combination thereof is created for an established brand with the intention of developing a new, differentiated identity in the minds of consumers, investors, competitors, and other stakeholders. Often this involves radical changes to a brand's logo, name, legal names, image, marketing strategy, and advertising themes. Okay, so there you go. Let's go through that list. The new name, right? Super Sentai, Project R.E.D. Yes, new name, absolutely. New term, well, we don't have to talk about that. New symbol, right? New symbol, I'm guessing like a logo, like design, right? It's a symbol and design, right? There's a new design, right? There's a new suit happening. There's a new logo, a new concept. Yeah, it's a new concept, right? It's supposedly about one dude, right? Mostly focusing on this one red hero. So yeah, that I would say that's a new concept for sure. And it's created for an established brand with the intention of developing a new differentiated identity. Yeah, sure, yeah. Super Sentai is an established brand, but what's the difference between rebranding and a new show? Let's find that out. So when it comes to starting something new, right, in terms of like business strategy and things like that, and comparing starting something new and rebranding, right? Things to consider. Foundation. It creates an identity from scratch without the constraints or benefits of existing brand recognition. The goal: to launch a completely different product or service, enter a fundamentally new market, or pursue a different business model. Scope involves developing a new name, logo, mission, target audience, and all operational aspects unique to the new venture. Process focuses on initial market entry, establishing a new identity, and building trust and recognition from zero. Considering those things, let's take a look at some press releases, I should say. So there was an official English press release for Project Red. So we talked about the Project Red press release in a live stream and a little bit in our reaction to the news. So go check out those if you haven't already. But here's the English translation, the official English translation from Toei. And it says, from Los Angeles, California. Does Toei have an office there? I don't know. Since 1975, Japan's iconic Super Sentai series has defined the tokusatsu landscape. Now, after 50 years, Japan's weekly tokusatsu broadcasting time slot will welcome a brand new project by Toei titled Project Red, short for Records of Extraordinary Dimensions. Right there, it says brand new project by Toei. We're going to skip a little bit ahead, and it says Project Red's inaugural title, Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity, is a reimagining of the legendary Space Sheriff Gavan 1982 to 1983, which was a work that depicted the hero's exploits as he battles a space crime syndicate to protect Earth. Keep all that in mind, right? We're going to go over to the Japanese, the Japanese press release on TV Asahi / Toei. I believe they say the same thing. So we're going to just look there, right? And we're going to read this part here. And it says, in 2026, a new special effects hero series, Project Red, will launch within the Super Sentai series, a beloved franchise that has been running for 50 years since 1975. Right there, it says within the Super Sentai series. Isn't that interesting? When you look at the English one, it's brand new, right? This whole thing, this Project Red, it's brand new, okay? But when you go over to the Toei / TV Asahi Japanese article, it says within the Super Sentai series. Now, of course, this is a Google translation, right? So, I'm going to have to double check this, but I can't check it until after I release this video. So I'm going to leave a comment in the description, or not in the description below, and a comment below, just in case the translation is wonky. I'm not too sure. But right now, we're going to go off this. We're going to go off the fact that it says, or that it Google translated into within the Super Sentai series. But yeah, look out for the comments below, just in case I have to correct this part. But that implies that it is some sort of rebrand type of thing. Also, one thing to note with the English article, it mentions Super Sentai. I guess because it has to say, oh, after 50 years, Japan's weekly tokusatsu broadcasting time slot will welcome a brand new project, right? It has to say that, oh, Super Sentai. It's just interesting how they're wording it. Like, they're not saying Project Red is replacing Super Sentai. I mean, they're essentially saying that, right? Obviously, like, they're essentially saying that. And it's like, yeah, duh, it is replacing Sentai. It's replacing that time slot. It's just interesting how they worded it. Now, am I looking into that too much? Yeah, hey, absolutely. Hey, I could, yeah, absolutely. I might be, sure, absolutely. I'm not denying that at all. Because at the same time, we got TV Asahi coming out here with a press conference, right? After they had released a statement saying that this Project Red is a brand new show. So, a few things can be happening, and they can all be true at the same time. One, there is a 100% chance that these companies are not kind of aligning with each other. Like everyone in all these different companies, Toei, TV Asahi, even Bandai, right? All these companies are not exactly going to align with each other in terms of like, oh, this is a rebrand, or no, this is not a rebrand. There's just so many different people working on this thing that not all of them are going to be on the same page. And on top of that, these companies, like, let's say, for example, just take Toei, for example. Toei can always backtrack their statement, right? Like, oh, this isn't the rebrand, it's a new show. Or no, this isn't the new show, it's a rebrand. They can do whatever the heck they want. It's their show. It's their show. Two, both of these things can be true at the same time. Yes, it can be a rebrand, and yes, it can be a new show. Like, let's be real here for a second, people. Like, all the stuff that is coming out about this show, none of it sounds like Super Sentai. Let's be completely real. Now, I know there's like rumors, there's leaks, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. Grains of salt, people. We don't know. We don't know until we know. Like, the toys might end up being compatible with Sentai toys. Absolutely. They might have Legend Sentai gimmick items in this new show. Absolutely. Does that necessarily make this a rebrand or not a rebrand? Yes, maybe no. I don't know. I don't even know if rebrand is the correct term for this. Let's just say, if the toys end up being compatible with say, like, Gozyuger stuff, with, like, DX Robo Universe stuff, right? Let's just say that. I don't know anything. I'm just speculation. This is pure speculation right now. Does that necessarily make Project Red a rebrand of Super Sentai? Is there another term that we could start throwing around? Spin-off. Reboot. Maybe not reboot, but spin-off maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure, because then we'd have to define all those other things, and we're not going to do that right now. And thirdly, honestly, we can just be overthinking this, and honestly, it doesn't really even matter at the end of the day, whether it's a rebrand, whether you want to call it a rebrand, whether you want to call it a new thing, whatever. Like, it really doesn't matter, because it is still new. Like, I think that is the point that Toei and TV Asahi is trying to make. This is new. Whether it's a rebrand, whether it's not, this is still new. It's new for us. It's new for all of us. This is why, like, we wouldn't be freaking out if this wasn't new. But that's the term right there. It's that it's new. That's what these companies are focusing on, and that's what they're trying to bank on to get that new audience in. So what do I personally think Project Red is when it comes to, its relationship to Super Sentai? I don't know. I think it's just silly, because you see people on both sides saying, calling the other side stupid for for saying, the opposite side. I see so many people that are saying this is not a rebrand, telling the other people who thinks it's a rebrand, calling them stupid. And then I also see the other side too. And it's just like none of us have even seen this show yet. Can we just stop and chill and just wait for the show? I think that's the best plan of action here, right? Is just to wait and see the show. We haven't even seen the full suit. We don't even know what he looks like yet. We don't know anything. We gotta wait for another few days, right? We have another few days until the next reveal, whatever they're going to reveal on the 30th is. I don't know what they're revealing exactly, but we'll find out then. But even then, it's I don't think that will be enough to be able to really decide, okay, this is a rebrand or this is not. I think we have to wait until, I wouldn't even say the teaser, like unless this, on the 30th it will be the teaser. I'm not sure, but I think we would have to wait for the show to start. And even then, I don't think the first episode is gonna like give us the answers that we want or that we need. I think it's gonna take a few episodes to kind of like, and we gotta kind of just sit down, watch this thing, and kind of, let it marinate with us, right? Before we can definitively say, this is a rebrand, or this is not a rebrand, or this is a spinoff, whatever we want to say. Again, I think both of these things can be true at the same time. It's a new show and it's a rebrand. I think they could be both. They could be both at the same time, for sure. But I'm just gonna wait and see. I don't know. I don't work for Toei or Bandai or TV Asahi, but if one of them wants to give me a job, then hey, I'm here. Let's go. Let's do it. But I will say that I am sad that Super Sentai, the Super Sentai that we know and love, like the Super Sentai that has lasted these last 50 years, that I'm sad about ending. Right? Like I am sad that is ending, because obviously, like this next show, this next rebrand, or this next show, whatever you want to call it, it's not Super Sentai. Like it's just not. It's not. It doesn't sound like Super Sentai at all. So I am very sad that Super Sentai, as we know it, is ending. With Gozyuger, of all the shows, of course. Listen, if it was my choice, I would have just kept Super Sentai going. Absolutely. If I was the president of Toei, I'd be like, let's go, let's keep it running. Let's keep it going 50 more years. Also, please let people be sad about it. I don't know why people are so weird online about, well, it's the internet, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. But still, just let, like, people are gonna be upset about Super Sentai, ending like this. Like, it's, like, come on, y'all. Don't be weird. Well, we'll see what happens on November 30th, huh?